some clear stuff. Okay, hey, so this video is about sharing projects with each other. This first project we're working in pairs, so there's a bit of file sharing going back and forth, and so this is a good time to talk about maybe best practices for that. So if you're working on Garageband, or if you're working on our Windows program that we chose, Cakewalk, you're going to be working off a program on your hard drive. The files are going to be on your hard drive. That's going to be probably the best way to do this. I got asked if there's a way for you to edit it concurrently in different locations. Not with what we're using. There are some browser-based DAW. I think Cakewalk is made by a company, BandLab, and I think they do have some browser-based DAW, but I'm not sure if you can edit that concurrently or not. And there's some pretty good reasons why I think that's a pretty difficult task. So get the file to the other person just by email, Google Drive, Box, something like that. If it's a large file, you compress it, send it to the other person, have them unzip. They just unzip it, save it, on their computer, and then just be working off a file that's on your hard drive. Okay, that's probably going to be the best way to do it. Some people had some issues sharing over iCloud. I would maybe just avoid that. There's a lot of kind of permission issues thing that can get in the way if you're trying to save to a cloud. Just get it on your hard drive and just work off local disk. Okay, so even if sometimes this could be laying on your track over what another person has done, but for this assignment, particularly when we're playing a song we already know, we can just do that to a meter, right? So like for instance, let's just do that today. Let's say we have two people who are making this track together. One of them is going to lay down the shime, and the other one's going to lay down chu from matsuri-ji. Okay, so let's get right to it. Let's lay down. Here's a shime. Let's play backbeat. Okay, let me take a quick look at these. So in this case, I'm just going to be looping this, but I laid down a couple. Ooh, it's getting delayed. My output is through Zoom, and that's kind of my excuse why I'm always late. But oh shoot, yeah, that's pretty bad. If I take this to 8th note, I think it'll work, except for maybe that last note. Tsukutsu. Huh? What's that actually? Oh, that's weird. Oops, and this is weird. Oh, wait. Oh, whoa. Okay. All right, well, that was goofy, but here is our backbeat. Cool. I will also just quickly take a look at the dynamics here. I think that's always a good idea. Yeah, we have don, tsukutsu, kon. Maybe these aren't quite as intense. And then depending on our preference and our learning, maybe we like the one accent. Or maybe we actually like kon accent, or maybe they're the same. But I think this is maybe just something you could kind of play around with, like that. That it really does change the feel, kind of how your accent matsuri. I think the thing that I really would like to see avoided with matsuri is yeah. I mean, there's still enough dynamics there, but I think it's really kind of a bit. It's the right rhythm, but the dynamic really gives that back line. It's like it's motion. I muted myself. Sorry. Maybe there's even a bit of a gap there. I like that. But see, it gives you a chance to kind of maybe you think more about like that kind of like what's going into making this you know the feel that we like to when you can kind of visualize it. So hopefully you're getting more out of this than just on assignment. But anyway, okay. So here is our shime. Now we're going to cut over to our person who is working on the cheer. And let's hear this. Oops, let's make sure the metronome's on. So they're going to be playing. And here's, let's just for sake of argument, say that they're working at 100 BPM. Okay, so that's going to sound around there. Let's play that down. Oof. I had some lag there. Oof. Oof. Pretty bad. Oh my god. Yeah, let's redo that. Yes, really. Okay, here we go. Let me hear that again. 2, 3, 4, down, up. Okay, that's. Yeah, it's draggy, sorry. So let's say we are having trouble just laying it down. And let's say, okay, let's slow this down even more. Just one way that, like, you know, if we're having just trouble with the input because of our setup, one thing we can always do is lay it down a little bit slower and speed it up. So let's try it at 80. Okay. So let's figure it out. Oops. So if you ever don't hear this first note, it's just because the start of the note is not actually in the region. So let's, I think Note should do it for us. Let's listen to this. Dum 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 ka 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 dum dum ha dum 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 ka ka ka. Okay, let's try that. Oh, these are all laggy. Yeah, I see. Oh, I didn't drag all the way. Yep. All right. That's for demonstration purposes. That's going to be our matsuri. And so we can kind of just say this is more of our song, right? So now we have two people. They've laid down two different tracks. And we have on our other one, shime. Now, so here was kind of one of my points that I think, so first, technically, we can just to copy it. So you have both instances open. So in this case, person, let's say the Chu person, sends it to the shime person opens it on their computer, copy the Chu line, and they're going to import it in here. So they don't have a track for it right now. We can quickly make that track. We can say new track with duplicate settings. And if you're using the same instrument kit, that's pretty simple. We can just paste on top of it. Now, I want to check something real quick here. So there's a problem here, right? So there's two things that happen here. So one, even though they recorded at different tempos, that wasn't the problem. Like that, it automatically kind of it's adjusted for that. So even though we copied it from 880 BPM, metronome into 1081, it didn't have a problem there. The problem though is how we were interpreting the tempo. So the problem is when we were playing at 80, we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So when we go into our 108, let's mute that that cue and just listen to shime really quick and see how it's being counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't. So we actually need to get through 2 iterations of don't go. Is actually 4 counts, right? So this was kind of a silly way to show it, but so it will adjust tempo for you, but like you have to know what your agreed upon tempo is ahead of time for that to work out, right? So now you could have done this, and then it's like, oh, they don't really work together. Can we fix this? Yeah, we could just lay down. In this case, like we could just relay down our shime. Or let's see if we can do this, just looking at the notes, right? Like if we need to reduce this into half its length, it means that like we could figure out how to do this. That means this note actually has to be there. Oops. Oh. It ends up being a bit of like thinking about how these notes should look. So we can just kind of, I visually just compress the space, and you can kind of think about it that way, or you just re-record it. So let's listen to those together. And now they've layered on top of each other, right? So the software, even though, and so this is one of the great things about Garageband is that, like, once they're on the meter together, we can change their tempo and they will all realign. So we can speed it up, we can, that's right, so we can slow it down. And that's going to be fine. So even if they were using a different meter to record, it'll slap onto your meter fine, but you have to have agreed upon what that meter means ahead of time. So that was just kind of my way to show that. Okay, so but the real important thing is that you can share files that way, and you can add tracks to each other's that way. I think maybe kind of the easiest thing, especially as you're not doing stuff you already know, is you can have some kind of bass track that's down already, right? And then you're adding on top of, right? So if this was kind of my if we're kind of creating something together, that's kind of one way we can do that. And then the sequence of an order of things might matter more. Like if you're and I think that's where kind of communications is helpful. Like if we're both adding like kind of really cool new parts, but they kind of end up conflicting with each other, we're going to have to kind of merge those into something that makes sense too, right? So as you do kind of more creative work, like it's going to be communicating ideas, right? Sometimes that's going to be outside of the software. It's going to be talking about like, hey, wouldn't it be cool? What if we like group this section again, or like what if we called back this thing, or like, what is the general flow and architecture of the song? Like, there's ways that we can still really collaborate and talk about music outside the software too, right? But yeah, so I hope that's helpful. But there are ways that you can both concurrently compose and stuff. So yeah, let me know if this clears that up for you all. And yeah, hope it's useful, and keep up the composing. Looking forward to everyone's stuff. All right, I get to bed. It's late. Good night.